Hi, welcome to Talking Pro Football with Mike, Domin, and Tom. And tonight we have our special guest, Vette, back.
Hi.
This is our pre-Super Bowl show where we're going to talk about how we got to this point in the season. And then we're going to have some notes about new coaches and hiring and other stuff that's going around the NFL. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Domin and let him lead us the rest of the way through the show.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Wave to the camera. Hi.
Hey.
Hello. All right, everybody with the blizzard up north and up there in the West Coast, stay warm, be safe.
Yes.
Right. So, usually
Florida.
we're in Florida. It's
still cold.
It's
cold for
40
us.
to us, so
It's
that's
cold for us.
That's
It's cold
like
for us.
extremely cold. Guys, we say this every week. We're not professionals. We're not ex-players. We're just regular guys and girls who love football. So hey, it's just our opinion, and it's not worth much, but hey, we like it, and we have our show.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, like Mike said, we're not gonna predict the Super Bowl today because
No
we're gonna
picks.
do it next week.
No picks.
We're gonna do it on next week's show, but we will. I want to at least talk about these games. So let's go to let's do the AFC one first, actually.
Okay, yeah. We'll do that one first.
So not to toot our own horn, guys, but this is this game was pretty much what we thought. Just it was going to be boring, low scoring, and
I think the weather had a tremendous part to play with that.
Absolutely.
yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
So normally we go by person, but since it's a recap of the game, we're all just going to kind of talk over each other, which is good. Which is kind of what we want. And oddly enough, we all watched the game together. And if you guys remember, we all said to Hal that when the fourth quarter started, I said, Hal, you got this game. You're up 10-7. I don't see anybody scoring now when that fourth quarter hit. I am not going to throw Sean Payton under the bus too mad for that fourth and one.
No. I called that. I
No,
said it's going to be a low-scoring game. He had the ball, and it was fourth down. I said, "There's you're going for it." I'm like, "You don't go for it. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Take the points. Kick
See,
the
the
field
more
goal."
I thought about that, if you go up 14-0 at that point, you basically shut the door.
You do have a good point, but
10-0 on a low-scoring game. Now, if you remember, go back and watch last week's episode. My final score prediction was 9-6 Broncos, and it was what 10-7.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was off by 1 point on each team. Of course, they got it reversed because of the fumble, which they also turned around and said that wasn't a backwards pass, and that the refs blew that call.
There's been a lot of that.
So there's a lot of. It was probably the ugliest AFC Championship game we've seen in 20 years. I would say
For different reasons, yeah.
for not just for the weather, for the fact that Broncos didn't even have a quarterback except the guy who took 6 days worth of snaps. And the weather was really bad. And once the weather, it was already going to be a low-scoring game. And then the weather came in, and it made it absolutely just horrendous.
But
Nobody could do anything.
I guess in defending Sean Payton a little, like Tom said, I can see Sean's thinking of
Yeah.
if I get up 14-0
you're-
and we get crap for weather in the fourth quarter, that's going to be
That's
almost
gonna be
insurmountable.
that was my thought for thinking why he went for it. Because
Yeah.
other than that, I wouldn't have gone for it
Yeah,
either.
and
But
maybe just run a better play, but
I think going for
A
it.
better play, definitely.
Yeah, 14 up at that point.
But here's the thing.
New England would have had a trouble coming back from that one.
But my point was real simple. A, it was going to be a low-scoring game. So B, you take the points
No,
normally.
yeah.
And C, you had a guy who had 6 days of practice. He barely had enough time to learn how to throw a freaking screen in that offense, much less do a fourth and gotta have it play. I mean,
and to all the national broadcasting, to everybody on all the big networks who all week, and I know you want to sell the NFL so we all watch, but all you guys who just all talked about Cinderella and Jared Stidham and all this, guys, come on. Anybody who knows football, we knew better. I'm sure he's a good guy. He's a good backup. But come on, we could have told you that wasn't going to be a great performance. And unfortunately, 2 big errors cost the game. And I'm not throwing him under the bus. He's a backup for a reason.
yeah.
But come on.
But to go back to the point about the bad call, which they've later said after the game, oops, we screwed up on that one. It wasn't a fumble. It wasn't a backward pass. That one is really, to me, the big one. Because if that doesn't happen and they don't give them the ball for free right there, New England's no way in hell scoring. which means Denver still wins a game, which it still doesn't matter because they don't have their starting quarterback, and it was just sadly
Say what you
absolute
want.
comedy.
We're in it, baby. We're taking that W. So
taking would be the key word.
you're just saying you're just mad because the Bears didn't make it this far. So don't
Well,
be
actually,
mad.
the Bears. Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute when we go to the Seattle-LA game. We'll talk about that. And quite frankly, if the Bears had been playing New England, it would have been just like '86, 46-10. Bears would have whooped the shit out of them.
But they
that's
didn't.
guaranteed,
But they
even in
didn't.
that weather.
But they didn't. So
Well, it's because it's not Super Bowl.
You want to just?
I like when they fight.
Yeah, we can just sit back. Yeah, we can
All right, we are viewers. We are going to. By the way, viewers, if you think you don't like him now, you haven't watched a whole Sunday with him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So anyway, all right,
hang on
let's.
just 1 second. What I did want to say is that I am a Broncos fan as well. So to me, even though I'm a diehard Patriot fan, they're like my second team. So that game was hard for me because I was kind of rooting for both of them, but really wanting us to win. So I enjoyed the game.
I before we go to the next game, I think Bo Nix doesn't get hurt. Denver wins.
Oh God, yeah.
I
It's not even close.
I think
It's not
that-
even
yeah.
I
close.
think it'd have been a completely different game.
Oh, I totally
yeah,
think it would have been a
yeah,
complete
yeah.
different game.
Yeah, it would have been 30-7 or 30-3, something like that. It would have been really, it would have
All
been
right.
really close.
So now on a better note, none of us really had any ties to this game, but boy, this game delivered everything we wanted to. I know, you like the Seahawks. Nothing surprised me about this game at all. Just two great teams going back and forth and back and forth. So y'all's 2 cents on this one. It was very entertaining.
I'm glad Seattle won, but I wouldn't have cared if the Rams won. With that game, they both, almost to me, the way they played, they both deserved to win. But it came down to, I think, who has a little bit better of a defense, and that's in Seattle.
Well, the thing is, everybody's been picking the Rams since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Since week 1, everybody was saying, the Rams are the class of the NFC. They're going to do it. We said it. And it's because it was the truth.
Rams
The
and Buffalo was my pick.
Buffalo and the Bucks was my pick.
Yeah.
And then of course Tampa Bay ran into all those problems and the line and all the receivers. And
No, the one
half
problem.
the team
the
on
one
half
they
the
have.
team on
They have
IR.
one problem, and that name is
Todd Bowles.
moving on.
Yeah. Anyhow, even in spite of Todd Bowles,
That was good.
those were my picks. Was Buffalo and Tampa.
Todd Bowles.
However, everybody else, all the as Domin said, we watch all the shows. We watch Get Up. We watch Colin. We watch all that stuff too. And they were all saying that the Rams, just like us, were saying that the Rams were the class of the NFC and that they were going to win it. I said defense wins championships, and I thought Seattle had a better defense. And here's the thing. Chicago didn't have a better defense than either one of these teams, but Chicago held the Rams to only 20 points. They actually scored more than that against Seattle.
It came down to me, one player playing outstanding, and they knew he was going to get the ball, and he still got it. That's Najigba. That you don't,
JSN, yeah.
he could not be stopped the other day.
And their running back Walker with the other one
With
down,
the-
Charbonnet being down, Walker stepped
Yeah,
up.
Kenneth Walker
And
the
then-
third showed why he was one of the top picks
But
3 years ago.
It came. I think both teams had great receivers who the other team knew was going to be kind of the highlight of that team, and Seattle outshone the Rams on that one.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I think that's one of the big differences.
And like we said, the Rams had their chance because with 3.5 minutes left, they were first and goal on like the 7 or 8. They had 4 cracks and couldn't get it in. You know, some people said the same thing. Well, oh God, maybe McVay should have went for the field goal there. But no, I don't blame him for going all 4 because you don't know when you get back.
In
So,
that game, it
yeah.
was a completely different game because
Yeah.
that game was a shootout.
You needed
Both
the points.
offenses were scoring.
Yeah.
You
You
had
needed
to
the-
score.
No, but that was a good one.
Whereas the AFC game, that was
Yeah.
like defensive from before the coin flip. We all knew it was going to be defensive, low-scoring game.
Now a lot of the shows nationally are all talking about Sam Donald. We believe in him. Now you can believe in him. I'm call me a bad guy. I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence. However, I am. If the dude holds up a Super Bowl trophy, then there's nobody.
can't.
Even if
Yeah.
you're a jerk that doesn't like him, and I don't dislike him, but if he holds up a trophy, you got to get off his back. He is a winner. This is the best year he's had. But
who's won? Has he won over 13 games? 2 seasons in a row.
Two different
with
teams. Yeah.
That says a lot.
I'm telling you, and for me, the nail in the coffin that put him over that, hey, I don't doubt him anymore, was beating the Rams.
Yeah.
In that NFC Championship game, everything's on the line, and he knows damn good and well that if he loses that game, everybody's going to point the finger and say, you can't win the big one. It's all your fault, blah, blah, blah. And he sat there and said, nope, I'm going to take it. I'm going to win it. And he did.
And he didn't turn the ball over, which we know is, and Rams, special teams.
Oh,
Oy.
Yeah, that kid's fired. I know who he was.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
You can't muff a punt in the championship game. This is football 101. They teach you how to catch the ball when you're in Pee Wee football, especially how to catch a punt. So, yeah, special teams doomed it for the Rams. I don't know if Stafford comes back next year.
It's hard to think he wouldn't, though. After that game he played.
I think
if
he wins the MVP, he'll be back. I think he'll be back.
Yeah.
I don't think you go out with that. You do one more time, one more season. I think, but I don't know. It depends. He had a hard time getting started this year.
Yeah, because he had all those backgrounds. He didn't even play in preseason.
when they got going though.
So.
All right. So again, we are not going to talk about the Super Bowl. That's going to be next week.
This is what I wanted to say about Seattle, though. I thought it was a great game. I really did. I really enjoyed that game. I wanted Seattle to win, of course, because I personally wanted to see 2 specific teams in the Super Bowl, and they just happened to be there. I thought they played a really good game.
Yeah, no, Seattle did. They played an excellent game, and their defense really kind of showed why they should be there.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I was saying that I did bring up earlier, little point, and that is the Bears held the Rams to only 20 points. Seattle gave them 27. So, just saying.
We'll give you a whole minute. Why don't you just get all your
Bear
stuff out right now?
If that curl guy
your
doesn't
Bear
get
stuff
that little
down.
interception,
Are we still talking about that?
then it's the Bears that are winning the Super Bowl and whooping the Patriots 46-10, just like it was in '85.
No
Same
matter
thing.
what you say, the Bears are going to be sitting on that couch next to Todd Bowles watching the Super Bowl.
They're not going to sit next to Todd Bowles. We're winners, not losers.
I think now we talked about Seattle. You always talk about how what's the kind of and this kind of leads into maybe what we're going to be talking about next in head coaches and stuff. You always talk about right now what's kind of the flavor of the time is getting a young kind of offensive minded coaches.
but we actually got 2 defensive coaches in this.
A defensive coach there, and what do they also say? Oh, we don't want to retread quarterback. Look at Seattle. Seattle done both of the 2 things we always kind of going against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is
They're
why nobody
working.
picked him at the beginning of the year. And everybody picked the Rams.
It's working for them, and they're kind of got their own. That's Seattle kind of way, doing their own kind of thing. But
it is working.
It's working for them, and it's working good.
But they were talking about that earlier. They were saying that here's kind of a. It used to be you got to do what the Bears have done. You got to get the coach and the quarterback. Like the Lions, they got Goff and they had Ben Johnson there, and that really worked and really got their offense going, and then their defense came along. Now they're saying, kind of like New England's recipe, which is you get a good coach and you have $200 million worth of free agents, and you just spend every penny. You just get everybody you can and just throw them in there real quick. I don't think that model's sustainable, but you got New England in the Super Bowl with that model, and the Seattle Seahawks did the same thing. They went out and they bought a ton of free agents, and they got a quarterback.
And
I think New England's a lot of May. I think that quarterback is a lot of why New England's got where they've got.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and that's what separates the
You're
NFL.
a lot more impressed with him than I am.
Hater.
It's not a hater thing.
He got him to the Super Bowl.
My
goodness.
He's a decent quarterback.
Let's kick the crap out of him. He got him to the Super Bowl. What else you want?
Yeah, Darnold's been there 1 year. He got them the Super Bowl too. So.
Yeah.
Of course, there is.
As an Oregonian,
6-1 and half a
the
dozen
Seattle are
Baltimore
like
that year.
close to my heart. So
you
I'm
know,
excited, and I'm kind of like I was with the Denver and Patriot game, where I was like, I I wouldn't be mad with whoever wins. I hope we win, but I won't be mad if Seattle wins because I'm from West Coast. So let's go. Let's see what we got going on.
All right, so next we're going to go over, since we're going to save the Super Bowl picks, the next thing we're going to go down the list, and very easy little fun thing, we're going to come up with a team that didn't make the playoffs this year that we think will definitely make the playoffs next year.
Okay.
Okay, so Tom, let's start with you.
Okay,
We'll
I'll
go down
start
the list.
first. I got a team that probably this year tanked it at the end of the season worse than the Bucks did. But in saying that, I also think they got a good shot next year, and that's going to be Indy. I think one more year in that system, and Indy's going, as long as they don't lose. Of course, all this is talking about how players they may lose or whatever. But, as long as they don't have the injuries that they had this year, and one more year under the system, I think Indy has a good shot at making the playoffs next year. Now, whether they do or not, we'll see. But I think Indy's going to be the team I would say.
Is it going to be Daniel Jones, or are they going to bring somebody else in?
I think they'll stick with Daniel Jones. I think they
Is he going to be
showed
healthy to play?
Well, we don't know. That's it. We don't know.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of a big
I
one.
don't think they'll tank as like they did this year towards the end of the season. Of course, you never know. But that's going to be, we talked to me earlier today. You said pick a team. That was I thought of a couple other teams and went, oh, no, wait a minute. They did make the playoffs this year. Nope, they did. So I said, well, let me go with a team that did not even come really close at the end of the year. But at the beginning of the year, they were 6-2 at one point, or 6-1 or 7-1.
No, they were like 8-1.
8-1 or something like that. They tanked it to worse.
And they really
different reasons, but I still think they have a good shot at it.
All right.
I don't think it was really a tank. I mean, they lost their starting quarterback, and then they lost. Who else did they lose? They lost somebody besides Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was the big one. I mean,
They lost
I'm
their
sorry.
tight end. They lost their great young tight end.
Tyler Warren was out for a little bit. So
lost
whenever they brought Philip,
defensive players,
I think that they brought Philip Rivers in to try to save it. I really think they did. That's why they did it. I thought they tried to save it.
Which again doesn't look like the best move because we saw in that last game you had your young quarterback right there who really looked great from
Riley
Notre
Leonard.
Dame.
Yeah, Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick. I know a lot of people are gonna cringe when they hear this, and it cringes me to say it, but that's what it is. Kansas City. I think Kansas City had its one year out, and there's no way that between Mahomes and Andy Reid, they are right now thinking of plays and thinking they'll have a great draft, they'll rebuild, and I see Kansas City coming back. What's yours?
Vette?
I actually want to see the Eagles do it because I really like Jalen Hurts. So we'll see. And I think they have one of the best fan bases out there. So I really want to see them come do it next year.
I got two teams that I think are really going to turn it around next year. One, we kind of saw the beginning of it, and that's the New Orleans Saints. I think they found a
thought about
quarterback
them too.
in Shuck.
Yeah.
And I really think that, which is a little bit more, I mean, they won their last 5 games. I think that they are really on the path, and quite frankly, I hate to say this,
the worst division.
if we don't,
It's the worst division. They could.
God help the Bucs. They better right the ship because otherwise New Orleans is going to come back and really wipe them out. The other team is the one that most people don't think is going to be very good, and I think they're going to be a lot better than they think. I think 8 to 9 wins. That's the Tennessee Titans. You got Robert Saleh, who started out in Chicago as the defensive coordinator, then went to New York, was a head coach there, and then he went over and kept that San Francisco unit playing really good defense, or at least decent enough to get them up to the divisional round. And today they hired Brian Daboll, the ex-Bills and Giants head coach. Daboll was excellent as an offensive coordinator for the Bills. Saleh was excellent as a defensive coordinator. I think that marriage there, and they already got Cam Ward, the quarterback, in place. I'll tell you what, I look for Tennessee to take a major jump this next year. I really think they're going to be, not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be probably an 8-9 win team.
However, Vette, you have to pick a different team because I do think Philly did make it to the wild card. They just got beat the first weekend.
If that's the case, then I would actually be with him with the Saints. Because that was kind of my.
That was a team I
that
kind
was
of
the team I
thought
was
about
looking
just
at.
because one, they played.
Yeah.
You actually saw improvement with that team almost weekly.
Yeah, weekly, right?
And I love the
And
Bucks.
unlike the
We're in
Colts,
Bucks
they
division.
started Shuck. They started their
Yeah.
rookie quarterback and said, "What do you got? Show me something."
Carolina, I don't know how, if they're going to improve over what they played last year. I don't see Atlanta. This whole division is up for grabs. I really think this coming up year.
Oh, yeah.
And I think New Orleans has a very good shot at it. Really, I'm afraid. I hate saying that, being a Bucs fan, but I could see New Orleans doing it.
Exactly.
I can see it do it. Now, I do believe that we do have the best quarterback. I do think Baker Mayfield's better, the best quarterback in the NFC South. However, I don't think we have the best coach in the NFC South.
We don't.
By any means. So, Bucs fans, hold on. It might be a rocky year again next year, but
I hope not. I'd like to see
the
I'd like to see
Saints
the home
look
team
good.
do.
All right, I'm gonna say this, and this is not gonna be a popular thing to say. I know I'm gonna get booed for this, but I know earlier this week when Atlanta hired Kevin Stefanski, Baker Mayfield made a comment. Oh, I can't wait to beat him up. And I know people. Oh, I like Baker's fire. I don't know. I'd like my starting quarterback to have a little class and not be nitpicking pick fights like that. I'm sorry. I know he likes it. I don't. I love it. I know you love it. I'd like to have a Tom Brady, Peyton Manning that doesn't have a need to. Well, I guess class is something. I'd like him to grow up and be a little more mature, and I thought he did. But there was no need to he just always wanting to fight and pick a fight. I just don't like that for the leader of my team.
I think it's a little bit personal more for the way things were done in Cleveland with him and how he was treated there.
Stefanski's the one who cut him. He didn't even call him. Didn't even give him the courtesy. Talk about class. He had no class. He didn't
matter.
call
It's your starting quarterback.
He didn't do anything.
It's your starting quarterback.
Lead
Lead the team with class. Don't just. I know y'all. As I said, I know y'all like the fire. I just don't. I just don't. I like
I'll like it a lot more if we get in there and we beat them next year. Then you can talk.
Winning cures everything.
I'm the kind of guy who's like, okay, I will be as nice to anybody in the world that I ever meet. If I ever meet you on the street and I don't know you, if you're nice to me, I'm gonna be nice to you. But if you're mean to me and you screw me over, I like that. That's why I want somebody who's going to stand up and say, I ain't taking that crap from you. I'm going to make you eat it. And that's what I love about Baker.
Well, anyway, okay. So next week we have our Super Bowl show.
That says Boomer Sooner and the lights came on.
I'm sure that's why they said it.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
one
called Gaw Deluxe, the Sooners.
All right.
Hallelujah.
So next week when we'll have our Super Bowl show, and we'll also go over our schedule, because now since football season is almost over, we won't be weekly. We're going to talk a month. We don't know if we're going to do one every 2 weeks, once a month, but we'll go over that and we'll have an answer for you next week. Anyway, that being said, we need to thank our technical director behind the camera, Pete Persian. All right, and we thank the Village players for letting us shoot here. And one last little bitty thing. Bill Belichick, who I admit is probably the greatest coach.
I was gonna say
the greatest coach in pro football.
Give him his flowers.
He did not make the Hall of Fame when they voted, and so he'll have to wait. And all I can say is, Bill, it's kind of karma. For 20 years, you did nothing but be a jerk to media. And a lot of those people are now saying, yeah, you're a great coach, but you can wait.
You can wait a year.
Stop whining. Yeah. You know other coaches that didn't make it the first time? Don Shula, I think, had to wait the 5 years. And now you don't have to wait all the time. I heard Bill Walsh, Vince Lombardi, none of them got it the first time. So, Bill, you know you're going to get in there, but you kind of earned this one, so sit back and watch.
He'll get
all right.
As a Patriot fan, I'd like to say something about that. I agree with the fact that he shouldn't have got in the first year. I know he's going to make it in, being the winningest coach when it comes to Super Bowls. I mean, six with the Patriots, and then 2 as an assistant coach for somebody else.
Defensive coordinator for the Giants.
Okay, so he's gonna make it in. But you did some shady stuff during your time.
Deflategate.
I mean, everybody's done it, so I'm not gonna we just got caught.
And what was it? Spygate too, yeah.
Everybody does it.
Twice.
We just got caught. Okay. So for those 2 things that he mentioned, I don't think you should have made it in the first year. but I know you're going to make it in. And when you do, I will be celebrating the fact that you made it in because you deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
enjoy
Yeah,
your.
I'll say that.
Once is an accident, twice is on purpose.
Yeah. So anyway, that being said,
Watching
everybody,
you, Bill.
we appreciate all our friends and family that
Yes.
watch, and we certainly appreciate those who don't know us and still watch. And what do we say
Hope
all the
you're
time?
entertained.
We want you to
Like,
subscribe, and
and
share. And
as much as humanly possible.
we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. And we're picking the Super Bowl next week.
Yes.